Welcome back. It is a Monday. Normally a real estate, a home builders, financial show. Tony Bachman team. Coldwell Banker is with us. We appreciate the end of May, 2 weeks to the report card show. Tell us about the weekend. Tell me that you were just walking the dog, looking out over the lake, or what did happen?
Well, it was a busy weekend, and I know this morning I normally try and get you notes. As of late, I try and get you notes the day before, and I had all the notes queued up, and I thought I had hit send. In the meantime, just before I had hit send, my wife had come in and said, "Hey," she says, "we should go take the dogs for a walk." So we took the dogs and we went for a walk down by the river, and we sat down there, and the dogs were laying in the grass overlooking the Sioux River, and we were just having a grand old time, just relaxing, taking a few minutes. And in the meantime, I get a text from you this morning that says, "I don't have your notes." And so I looked at my computer. I'm like, well, there's a reason I hadn't hit send yet. So now you got a chance to take up you had about 10 minutes to look at my notes. So we'll see where we go with this.
You know, and I thought it was a pretty good review from what I read about where we're at 20 years of concern that we have as far as increases. Great time for the parade of homes. That was a quick 40-second look.
Yeah. No, I think the parade of homes, I mean, like we've talked, and you've been covering this for the last couple of weeks. I think it's just a great way for the home builders to showcase, what's going on out there, what the current trends are, and just a great time for people to be able, and it's kind of like going to the mall or something like that, where you just get a chance to kind of walk around and take a look at some of the new things, the new developments. I think the comments I get a lot of times from people who've lived here for a long time is like, "Oh my gosh, I had no idea they were building in this area, or I've never seen any of this development before." So it's an opportunity for people to kind of see, the greater Sioux Falls as it's been expanding. Along with get a chance to talk to some of the builders or maybe get some ideas for remodeling.
121 consecutive months of year-over-year increases. What should that mean to us this morning?
So what it's saying is the trend of that length of time. It's not typical. We haven't had that sort of a trend with appreciation over that period of time. For it's by itself. No, there is no other time that we've had this. And I think what we're trying to convey here a little bit, because I know that, we talked a little bit about uncertainty in the marketplace and people having concerns with prices and also having concerns with inflation. I think the fact is, and so I get a lot of people who say, well, I think prices have gone up to a point where I'm going to wait until prices go down. Well, that 100+ months is telling you that the trend has not been to decrease, and actually
it's a one-way train.
Yeah, it seems to, and I get it. There's always a chance that something could happen, some economic decline that might affect the market. But we in South Dakota, even when we had the 2008, we didn't feel the effects of that pullback in the marketplace anywhere close to what some of the other areas did. But to that point, it's a seller's market right now. I mean, we are at roughly less than 2 months of inventory. And 2 months of inventory compared to back in 2008, we had like 9.3 months of inventory. Until we get to a point where we see 6+ months of inventory, I'm going to tell you that prices are going to continue to gradually increase. And we've already seen appreciation. Even like just this year, they're talking 9% appreciation for homes. And I know that interest rates have been a concern, when it comes to their payment, that sort of thing. But the thing that you are looking at is, what's your alternative? If you're paying rent someplace, the rents are really close to what new home ownership is. And plus, you get the benefits of home ownership. And there's a number of those, too, by owning a home.
Bottom line, and I read directly, quoting, "If you're thinking of selling to move up, you shouldn't wait for prices to fall."
And just dovetails right into what we talked about. I mean, at this point, I just don't see prices falling, and neither do any of the economists that are looking at this. I know that, and this isn't saying anything about when I say the media, when I'm talking about in print and advertising. Sure. If the whole thing, if it bleeds, it leads. Well, I just read an article the other day where they were talking about, oh my gosh, are we in a housing bubble? And they, and they were making this case, and they had this. It was like a 6-paragraph, article. Well, and they were talking about, this could be a problem, and interest rates, and how this could be detrimental. we get to the last paragraph, and the last paragraph says, but as of 2022 and maybe into 2023, we don't see things changing. We still see prices increasing, which I thought was interesting because that was the real meat of the article. But they like to lead with the, are we in a housing bubble? And so the public, when they see that, it gives everybody that persona of thinking, oh my gosh, we are in a housing bubble. We are not. I mean, at this point, because of the inventory, we have more buyers than we have sellers. And that trend is going to continue all through 2022 and probably into 2023.
All right. For the month of May, we're 23 days in.
Yep.
Have you had more buyers that have come from out of state that are now looking for a friendly place to land? Or have you had them coming from here saying, I don't know what direction to go because I know if I sold my home, I've got to have another home that might cost more than it did yesterday. It's a circle or a triangle that they can't quite figure out.
Yeah, no. So I would say percentage-wise, we probably a larger percentage of people that live locally that are looking to move, to fit their family, whether they're trying to get from a rental situation or just move from one home to the next. The number of people from out of town, there's still people coming from other states. It's just not as fast and frenetic as it was, 6 months or, 12 months ago. But they're still coming because there's so much economic development and so many businesses and things that are happening here. We've got to be bringing in personnel and talent to be able to cover some of these positions. And then also just the thing with all of our standard of living, and we do have positions that are open, and people are looking real hard at South Dakota. I mean, South Dakota has been put on the map over the last few years. And so when you visit places and you talk about you're from South Dakota, they say, I know exactly where you are, and I know your governor. So they've recognized what's been happening here for the last couple of years.
Last line. Experts say owning a home is historically a good hedge against inflation. Is it today?
Absolutely. Yeah, bar none. I mean, I've gave this example before, but I can just reiterate the examples. 2018, I had people that told me that I don't know if it's a good time to buy a home because prices have seemed to have gone up. Again, here we are, that 120 or 130 months of appreciation, and someone's thinking someone's going to pull the rug out, and we're going to stop this appreciation train. It has not stopped. Those people that bought in 2018 have homes that value about 50% more than what they did in 2018. So when you're talking about hedge against inflation, we're still looking at, and I can give you an example of, we're looking at a home. If you bought a home for $350,000 this year, in 2027, they feel that home is going to be worth just about another $100,000. So at this point, interest rates are getting pretty close to their top. They don't expect interest rates to go over 6 and probably hover just a little bit underneath that. It still is affordable to buy a home, and it's a great way to hedge against inflation and not have to worry about rising rents, that sort of thing.
Open house over the weekend, 220,000, hit some points. Did you get a big turnout?
We did, yeah. We had 9 sets of people that showed up, and the home was it was one right after another with agents showing, clients. So things have not slowed down. It's still busy out there, and I know that there's been some pressure on some of the buyers, with the interest rates. It's reduced some of their purchasing power, but they're still looking for homes, and we're out there and we're finding them for them. So, and we're listing homes. We've got a number of new listings that are coming out. So, I don't know if the inventory is going to bump up, but at least we're trying to keep up with the traffic.
Tony Bachman, Coldwell Banker. How do they reach you?
Best way to reach us is TonyBachmanGroup.com and then we also have a Tony Bachman Group Facebook page, and my cell number is 605-201-5998, sir.
And you got a little video that you're showing
We got a video. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Bill.
Hi. See you later.